Yeah, do me. KG. Make something of life, make something of life. One time for the writer's pen, 2 times for the music that rise the men. I descend from a people that fight and win, politicking on the freedom to buy the trends. Try again, go revisit the highest end. Get a ticket to ride yourself, figure it out as wealth. And it's easier done when said. That's why we speak it and nod the head. Media drowns it dead, but what's really inside is felt. What with the lyrics I scribe and dealt, mirrors to either self. And what minister tries to help when he limit the height and realm? Niggas can climb and step, felt vexed when they sign up to death. Content with the lives they led when they connive for sex. Check how you deny the best, how you revile the blessed, why you be wired to rise ascend.
One of the things in Zimbabwe that they do when they're telling these stories around the fire is they assign characters to ideals. Usually the characters are rabbit or hare. In Shona it's called tsuro. And there's also the baboon or the ape. In Shona it's called gudo.
Okay.
Right. So gudo and tsuro are usually the characters in these stories. Invariably, every story has tsuro and gudo. Tsuro is usually the clever one, and gudo is usually the stupid one. So tsuro and gudo are muses in the kingdom in Africa. And in the kingdom, their job is to entertain, to provide, to provide musical accompaniment at parties, at births, at victories when they've won in battle. So while they're doing this, the king gets bored with the way they keep on doing their thing. So he says to Tsuro, he says to Gudo, guys, I'm tired of the way you keep, every time I can predict what you're gonna do. You're supposed to be live entertainment. You're supposed to make the village get excited every time you rhyme, or every time you create music. Come up with something new. Otherwise,
you pay with your life.
Yeah, otherwise you pay with your life. It's that simple. And that's how it was back in the day. It was, if the king says it is, either it is or you die, So anyway, Tsuro and Gudo, they go back and they're wondering, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Hey, we're dead. Exactly, and they're standing by the tree. He's standing by the tree, like, hey, we're dead. This weekend, we're dead. Hey, yo, this weekend, yo, we dead. Hey, yo, this weekend, yo, we dead. Hey, yo. Then they start the freestyle, we dead. And then they start the freestyle. They freestyle as he taps on the beat. He taps to the beat on the tree, taps to the beat. Then they freestyle, they spark a free. Tsuro starts to rap and Gudo raps him back. And before you know it, they've created a track. And that was how hip-hop started.
Yo, I eat shit, drink what I sleep, hip-hop. I ball shit, talk what I bleed, hip-hop. I sweat, work, protect hip-hop. Anything I do is hip-hop. Yo, I eat shit, drink what I sleep, hip-hop. I ball shit, talk what I bleed, hip-hop. I sweat, work, protect hip-hop.
What is hip-hop? Hip-hop is just doing me. It's talking about things I know about, speaking as realistically from my heart as I possibly can. Not speaking about what I think Cats is trying to hear.
Because I think hip-hop is timeless. Hip-hop is just timeless. It's like a heavier, like the purpose of hip-hop is not necessarily celebration. Although we can use hip-hop for celebration, it's more for mental stimulation.
Hip-hop is not what it is today.
Hip-hop was a movement. When Public Enemy came out and said, yo, I got a letter from the government, they want me to go to war, I'm not going to war because the government never... People were not happy, the powers that be were not happy, you know what I mean? That was a gun faced at corporate America. So what they did is they pumped enough money into it. So now you got Ja Rule talking about bling and whatever, you know.
There's dudes coming out on the commercial front, a lot of dudes coming out on the commercial front, you know what I'm saying? Doing hip-hop which is only for the commercial pop market, you know what I'm saying? They're not even thinking about heads.
And it's disempowered the whole movement. It's really disempowered that movement, you know what I mean? And it's consumerism. There are people who go out there and make hill figure just so that they know that the hip hop youth are going to spend money. You know what I mean? So they've disempowered hip hop with this whole capitalist movement.
The whole music industry that makes money and generates in front of you, it's the music industry that doesn't feed the community. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't feed the community with knowledge for them to be motivated and go to school. You see what I'm saying?
What the fuck's going on inside the bed? Should they roll them all? Fake is how it is.
What I'm feeling right now with this hip-hop situation, too commercial, too sweet and all business. It lacks the soul.
There are people who are doing things for themselves. There are movements like Slages and Splash Jam that are trying to push it and put forward, you know.
When we started Slages, you know, I was trying to like find my role in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like which element will I represent? You know what I mean? Until it hit me that entrepreneurship is also another element of hip hop.
You know, as a young, I'm going to say specifically black, you know, because I think that the black youth nowadays are kind of, they're starting at a disadvantage of sort, you know, they're starting with more than nothing, you know what I mean, to get to where they need to go. And judging from what you said to me, it's about persistence, you know, and it's about vision, you know, and it's about knowledge, you know. In terms of what you see around what's going on, like in terms of the people that come into your store every day, do you see that there is that culture is being built up, like your store is making some sort of a difference to the mind state of rappers?
I think it is in a big way.
Like a lot of us are taking in too much of what we see, that we're not creating our own thing.
What about growing the sound? I mean, we've got so much to borrow from. How many people? It's only now that Bongani Fast is borrowed from Bakanga.
What's in mommy?
Come on, guys, it's long overdue. Have you heard Ndebele beats? It's like the beats. Yeah, that's dope. You know what I mean? But we're not using that.
The thing is, we compromise too much as artists. You know, we bend over.
You're gonna get, you know, fucked over a lot. Needless to say, you know what I'm saying?
You know, and like, oh nigga, that won't sell. And you feel that track and you're like, good, and that won't sell. And you're like, okay, it won't sell. Fuck that, man. You the artist in this business.
That's when you start singing for what it really is, which is a front, you know, which is you start seeing the brutality of the industry, man, that everybody has to look out for themselves. No one is looking out for you. No one's got your interests at heart. Don't fool yourself and think that because you're signed, the company's taking care of you. No, they're taking care of themselves, man. Your entire function, according to them, is to bring them money.
Lyricists, and I roll with the business. Just a strong individualist who don't battle for business. Making songs is a privilege. With my music, I'm intimate. You can ask anybody how a tubby's been ripping it. See, I've been through it all, so I don't battle no more. But any fool who try to push me, get a fist to his jaw. I'm done with proving to you that I'm just a heavenly tool. I change the pace for you to take my words and follow my moves. Been in the grind, but never came the title as mine. My words and my rhymes are born to live beyond human time. It ain't momentary, and yes, I still the battles are scary. That ain't why I'm wary. I'm bored with killing cats on the dairy. Didn't battle for props. In fact, I didn't battle for show. I just battled to change the mind of the wannabe clones. I see, I'm taking the time to put more work in my art. I'm not just spitting words, I'm phrases that can come from the heart.
The trick of the trade. The trick of the trade is not to be a slave, you know what I'm saying? And not just follow the program these record execs set out for you, you know what I'm saying? Because if you do that, you'll just live at their handouts and the expense of their handouts. You need to take your music and your destiny into your own hands. Do whatever you need to do.
So the only way is to do this thing, man, anyway. Fund it any way you can, man. Anyway. And be independent.
Was a light-skinned pretty girl with itty-bitty curls, silky curls, 10 minutes to little silly flirts. The city turns for a glimpse of... I
mean, everything that I've done is independently, you know.
We don't need record labels. We've got the internet. We can sell our shit internationally from our bedroom. You know what I mean? Without even printing one copy.
We need those raw niggas, man. A nigga gonna step on the mic and rap and don't give a shit about the check. You know? Type of shit. I just wanna put it out. This is what I'm about.
I just wanna put it down. You know, I wanna put it down and put it out there.
So we don't need the radio stations.
Fuck radio. So we need to scrape radio as a whole.
We should shape what the radio stations play, not what the radio stations play shaping our music.
They are businessmen. The only thing they are looking at is papers, and that's it. You are looking at the people and you are translating the people's lifestyle. So fuck, man.
Bob Marley's music to this day has relevance. You know what I mean? It has an energy, it has a vibe. Yeah. It's strong, you know what I mean? And there's
irrespective of the generation.
Yeah, irrespective of generation, irrespective of the industry, politics, irrespective of all of that. And what he did was, him and the Wailers and everybody else that worked with him, he put it out. He had a burden in his heart. He put it down and put it out. So that's what I'm doing right now, man. I'm putting it down and I'm putting it out. And hip hop allows me to put it down the best way I can. You know, the most effective way I know how.
Before we smile with these white dudes, let them give back our land. Yeah, man. I mean, all the white mines. I mean, De Beers flipping owns mines just after the West Rand, man. Just after Soweto. De Beers is owning mines from here right up until Free State.
The president of Venezuela tries, and he told America face to face, said, this is the Venezuelan oil. It should work for the people of Venezuela, not of America. That's why they tried to, to deal with him, And we need a president in South Africa who will say, these are the diamonds for South Africa. They're not going to go overseas, They must work for the people of South Africa. But we don't get that. Diamonds, you go to Europe, you find a very nice diamond ring. It's very cheap, but you cannot afford it here in South Africa. No.
I came here on a boat, my aim clear, but it's cold like reindeers by the pole around Antarctica. I'm speaking Dutch, my skin is white and freaking Kafir women like they beneath us. I killed their tribes, 1,000 massacres. Stole the south of Africa and sold it back at half the price. Told blacks how they lacking God because religion is a big thing. Don't just bow to black witchcraft. Go and plow me fatter crops, so they're now my laughing stock because they work within the system. They worship what's not living, and what's worse is they're the victims of the verses I did give them. They cannot wisen up. Besides to dig and mine and holes and not get rich when finding gold, but the price at which a diamond sold was not quite enough. Cause I'm a greedy pig and I'm not feeling shit. Fuck all you needy kids. Van Riebeck can't respect the cultures people build. Blah.
5 minutes away from here. There's like a mine dump, And I mean, it's not a healthy place for people to be living.
Oh, too many people, too many people are suffering. Too many people. Oh, angeke sizwe ngabo, angeke sizwe ngabo, angeke sizwe. Oh, angeke sizwe ngabo, angeke.
So yeah, before we can start saying it's a thing, we can tell the people individually love life and what. Let's start with our leaders first, Tell them to take us in the right direction,
The only presidential candidate I got love for is Mugabe. Catch me freestyling in a Rari, smoking Swazi, lively. My issue with Mandela is a big issue, cat.
Mandela made a criminal offense by allowing the whites, by saying sorry to the whites. My family didn't agree to that. I doubt Yolanda's family agreed to that. He agreed to that and his fellow friends. And the government is doing nothing. I've never received, they don't know my needs or anything.
If it meant that South Africa has to go into the doldrums, my man, in order for us to come up, fly again like the phoenix, we should have done that and not sell our souls in order to maintain a fragile economy that could swallow us at any moment for any reason. Because there's war in, they tested a nuclear weapon in Korea. What does Korea have to do with me?
So it was a criminal against Ubuntu, African, without consulting others, and he did it on his own. It's like, hey man, he sold us out, straight up,
You see, I big up Robert Mugabe because the people there are finally gonna get their land. You see, whether it happens, he's gonna die sooner or later, new power change, whatever. But the people got their land. Africans are liberate Zimbabwe. I liberate Zimbabwe.
it's the survival of the fittest, you know. And if you stand for the poor and fight for the poor, you're always marginalized and being isolated. You know, in Zulu we always say Tembal Bulali. We always have hope that one day things will work, you know, in a way that will benefit the poor. And we fight this whole situation. And even though we don't win now, as you know, today as I'm alive, you know, but you're planting a seed somewhere, you know.
The Codesa agreements signed at the World Trade Center by Mandela. He let the whites keep their land and we got political freedom. Check at this. How am I going to walk around in a land that don't belong to me and claim its freedom?
Expression. Yeah, just like taking everything about me.
Digital.
Take it out, however attracts me. I'm only that son.
I don't think anyone is supposed to be living in this place.
Straight the fuck out.
You know what I mean? The ghetto is not for us.
It wasn't meant for us.
Like look around. Like the yards are all congested. You know.
It's a concentration camp.
Square boxed houses. There's no energy flowing.
Yeah.
No trees.
Trees, views.
Nada. You know?
There's nothing happening. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere. There's shacks that look around here. You know, they talked about houses. Like you get a house and this and that. There's shacks everywhere. There's people that don't have places to stay, and there's people on the street. You know.
And how many black politicians are still smiling and eating off the same plate with those people? And how many people are still dying of poverty and AIDS and such shit?
Some of these Africans hate themselves and disease kill themselves. Reach for help from the belly of hell. The South Face story's what is told, and that's the story they tell. Burning his eyes, my grandfather, as a soldier he retired. Never saw Zion with his own eyes. Believed and taught many white lies. Michael, my cousin, lost his right eye. Beat on the street by white guys.
White niggas shooting black kids, mistaking them for baboons. You know what I'm saying? But that's freedom, man. We're walking around and we're getting shot in land that's not ours. But we got freedom. You know what I'm saying? That freedom doesn't appear, doesn't make sense to me, because there's places I can't even walk in Jim's hood, the observatory. Cops are searching me. You know what I'm saying? Claim I'm gonna break in.
And you keep saying I'm free. And you keep saying that I'm free. And you keep saying I'm free. And you keep saying that I'm free.
Fuck the police, man. That's all I say.
You call that freedom, yo?
There's a lot of shit that we take, man, as black people in this country that we don't have to.
I mean, we walk up to a mall, Cresta Mall. Some white kids are chilling outside. When we go outside, they step into the building. What the heck is that? You know, like, who's the intruder here? You know, this is my land. You should be embarrassed for looking at me that way, everyone.
My leaders imprisoned by the sidelines, killed for speaking their own minds. I cried for Steve Biko and Tupac at the same time. Brother Shabazz had a great mind. Chris Honey died at the wrong time. I forgive but never forget at the same time. Whole mind, speak for the right life. Genius in a black mind. Freedom is a birthright. Love yourself and walk right. Remember, one strike, one chance, one life. Oh God, I love life, and I love Steve Biko as much as I love Christ. I struggle my whole life, struggle like Mahatma Gandhi in the Durban nights, 40 days, 49s, thinking 27 is suicide. I am Marcus Garvey, I am Hector Peterson, I am Paul Marley, I am Thabo Mbeki, I am Steve Biko, I am Chris Honey, I am Marcus Garvey, I am Hector Peterson, I am Paul Marley, I am Thabo Mbeki, I am Steve Biko, I am Chris Honey, I am.
If Stephen Biko had the ability to change the state of mind of the masses, why was he assassinated? But he didn't ever tell the masses, hey, let's burn the buses or what. It was the NCs and the whatnot. Why the heck do they lock up Mandela for 27 years and assassinate Stephen Biko, who was only a leader of a movement, a student movement? He wasn't even a politician, but he had to die.
His politics is foul and they sold us out. You know, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie about it. You shoot me, arrest me, burn me. You sold us out. It's the truth. It's why I rap. It's to tell cats like you, hey, be aware, we know what's happening, you know what I'm saying? The youth are not sleeping.
Our history shows that, there's been a lot of concessions and selling out that's been happening,
So Mandela promotes the 666, and you look into Revelations, they say the Antichrist is the man who will be loved by nations and they will roar when he comes to a stadium, whatever, those examples. Mandela's loved by nations, he's whatever, he's the leader of what, and he's promoting 666. This is the Revelations, man. I mean, if you're not clearly seeing it with your own eyes, then you're blind,
TV bombardries, bombard reality. Crime stop the lottery, stop depicting me butt naked with ivory. Let me see what you are, not what you trying to be. Mortify my nation and society. Why you lying to me? You equivocating, motherfuckers know nothing about it. Shipping liquor bottles, age models, diabolical hellfires, back ties and sapphire. Seeking for answers in Proverbs and Jeremiah. Draped in the tie of a Messiah like Dharma terror. I survived the dawn of terror. My nation mourns forever. They say we prone to murder, and if you made it, you won't go further. Tired of lies you televise, hypnotizing us with bad advice. Do or die, try to play it right. I'm tired of you depicting black man far from right. This is self-expression, it calls aggression enough to make a group of people look for morale with weapons.
We have to really dig deep and search our souls and figure out how we're gonna take the power back, which is ours. It's ours. It's ours. This is our land. It's our gold, it's our uranium, it's our platinum, it's our buildings. By the way, all of this shit was built by black hands. We know this.
People who are from Africa cannot access these spots where you see nature and appreciate your country and all that. And then who come and enjoy? The foreigners.
All of this, it's ours, really. So we have to recognize that and acknowledge that and know that even on the level of our human rights, they're ours, dude, and express it and not be afraid, which is why I like hip hop, because it gives you the artistic license to say all of that without having to worry about getting shot immediately the next day.
Okay. These are the African times, normal to the naked eye, deeper to the white skies. It's essential to portray us with the right vibes. Yo, I got potential in my right mind. They say we full blown, like it's an African disease alone. They say we monkeys when it comes to chromosomes. Prefabricated truth or the most hated. From Soweto to cities that I emancipated. From out the slums we elevated, but still the image on my black ass is backdated. I'ma say it again, I promise Hector Peterson for the sin not to repeat again. Oprah Winfrey has the power of 1 million men. In Tokyo, you a businessman, get a mentality, play a victim to society, or fall casualty to criminology. Hold your horses, hold your crew, before you start aiming your guns at Prussian blue. It's nothing new, media has been toasting you. Be sincere, never let the truth depart from you. Beautiful and black, a shining star you are. Dedication and a positive self-esteem will get you far. I am Hector Peterson, I am Paul Marley.
It's about the message, not about the profit.
Exactly.
If you hated things, please
stop it.
Yeah, basically, that's what we do. We fuck shit up.
I think we need to get to a point where, as South Africans, we pay attention to the stuff that really matters. You know what I mean? Let's pay attention to the stuff that really matters. As a continent, as Africans, let's stop focusing on the silly things they want us to focus on to keep us divided so they can keep pulling one over us. Let's focus on the real things, the important things that matter.
So uchitha amanzi lapha gogo ngoba kule enye indawo yokuchitha amanzi. Amanzi akhithwa ngeke.
One issue is always how we treat each other.
Xenophobia, that is really down pressing us people. But you know, I'm immune to that, man.
Okay.
I don't really suffer from that, you know, because for as long as you regard people or judge them according to their nationality or their tribe or maybe their race, then that just pulls you a million steps backwards. And that's why I'm trying so much not to be affected by that. Yeah.
I think we need to stop being ignorant, you know what I'm saying? Like, this could easily happen to South Africa in 5 years' time. I mean, there's a civil war bubbling under, man. Buddhists are starting to talk, you know what I'm saying?
All the South Africans that I've ever known, right, were always obviously out of the country, right? And, you know, it was always love. You know what I mean? Everywhere it was always love. You know what I mean? And they were always respected and always treated in a way where it's like, yo, we know what your situation is. You know what I mean? And then to come home and have, you know, other people, you know, like Somalis being burned on trains and shit, and people, you know what I mean? Just funny vibes where it's like, you know, because some of us, our only example of freedom has been a white man beating down on you. You know what I mean? You kind of feel like, yo, now I'm free. I'm free to beat down on somebody. You know what I mean? Okay. And that's you know, that's a dangerous. You know they say like the worst master, slave master, is the former slave.
I mean, I had a brother that got shot in the back of the head just because his landlord kicked him out of the house for not being a citizen of the country, and then he stayed outside. And the same night, that's when he ran into dogs and he got shot in the head. You know?
Now white people took a break from us, like harassing our mothers and all of that shit, but we are harassing each other in the same hood. You know what I'm saying?
We need to shed love, man, instead of hatred. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's the use of hating where you can love? You know, period. You know.
The community back then used to be so tight. Like Masiti, Lamapuna and Ayan will all gather around, you know, and do that shit, you know. But now it's like we all got freedom and so-called freedom. You know what I'm saying? That everybody you ain't close with your people no more. Like the issues related to Ekasi, you don't even consider that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like no, you know
That's
what I'm saying?
all it's about. What is money?
Yeah, it's that Mandela's freedom.
Yeah, one in money. That's what it's about. You know?
So you guys are not happy with that?
You're not happy with that because it's driven everybody crazy.
I've known some white people that have more of an essence of African spirit, Africanness, more Ubuntu, honestly, than some black people. You know, I've met some black people who want to claim Africa because they're black. But they don't know the first thing about the spirit of Africa. And that's important. You know, that's important to me. And essentially, like a lot of people always say, Africa for Africans, meaning black people. But the truth of the matter is that it's not about black people. Africa for Africans, it's Africa for people who have a passion for Africa, people that feel the African soul coursing through their veins, people that don't recognize that Africa has got little lines drawn around it saying this line represents Zimbabwe, this line represents Tanzania, this one represents Kenya, this one represents Uganda. Nah, man.
It's like Zulu. Before I'm Durbanite, I'm African, period.
People that recognize the continent as a people, as an energy.
With no boundaries.
Nothing, no boundaries, no lines drawn.
I've flown many times to Europe, you know, and when I look out the window, whether we're coming back or still going there, I don't see the borders. I can't see them. I can see the mountains. I can see the rivers, the lakes. I cannot see the borders.
Yeah. Both those two are music, or should I say are kinds of music that I like very much. And hip-hop for me is very serious. Hey, the way I feel hip-hop is on a very personal level, you know. I just felt I had to say that. Anyway.
Who's that? Right there, blue cap and white hair. A new chap called Tap the Prune, your afternoon's nightmare. You might hear the baboon saliva from the last lagoon. Ideas to master tunes, make them fly like gas balloons. The sky bless my highness, call it majesty. My chest be swollen, it was stolen from a rugged tree. I get freaked by life as the moon is by night. My bright eyes light the path of doom to hide fright. Why Mike has a spoon? I tried to analyze. In vain, spin veins, fast cocoons as butterflies off the toast, otherwise boast. But on the other hand, those that thought otherwise got roast by motherland. Stretches like rubber bands. Check this, I'm suffering. Sketches, the shabba ranks calling. I love a man for hurting another man. I'll have to soon weigh the massive boom and say, as to whom it may concern, you'll have to ask the cartoons. Who's that? Right there with white hair and a blue cap. The afternoon's nightmare, now it's time the new chap.
All learn from the past so as not to repeat those sins that have kept us back for over 500 years.
The fights of ignorance will be minimized and conquered through the music that we talk.
Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Marcus Garvey words come to pass.
When I first became a Sangoma, I was already, say, a person of education. I had entered school as a child of 14 years. And when I became a Sangoma, I was a youth of 16 years. And what my aunt and my grandfather, as well as my maternal grandmother, taught me, shook me to the core of my soul. I found that the mission schools had been teaching me lies about my people all along.
We don't have education, we have inspiration. If I was educated, I would be a damn fool.
Pass me brainwash ngoba basigele sisamanga la undlebe sangilanga ngithi lo mhlaba yahlanya beka uzosibonela ulame mhlabe ngunu behind enemy lines ekela ukudlala umpupu alutha continue it's time to free Azania kwamele kunuke kungabolanga vele namathwape from Gauteng to Zimbabwe stambe njengomgabe sithi ngumhali kaphi yakhe fire burn njengelahle fire burn njengelahle fire burn njengelahle.
We have to start with the education of our children in order to teach them to go to school to learn, not to get a degree, you know, not to get a certificate. That thing means nothing on the wall. In fact, the day they get the certificate, they must burn it.
That's how Jewish kids got raised up. That's how Indian kids are raised.
Because they're going to work for themselves and they're going to have the knowledge in here, man, you know.
Screw the white man and all his morals and whatever. Because everything is taught us from day one is plain lies.
I know about how Sol Plaatje translated Shakespeare, was the first black man to translate Shakespeare into an African language. It's one of the biggest problems, that thing, you know what I'm saying? The guy, one of the founders of the ANC, is the guy who brought us a translation of the most profound form of blackmail, of brainwash rather, which is Shakespeare, my man.
We don't know nothing about our origins or about our history. Everything they ever write about is how these white people, I don't know who they are, but you know, the Europeans, the Lincolns, the Ronald Reagans, you know, all those politicians. We don't know nothing about Abu Afrika Bambaataa. I only read about the the rebellion of 1906, the Africa Bambata, this year. And it's South African history, and I didn't know that the Zulus rebelled against, European forces. I mean, the Zimbabwe ruins, everything. We don't know that, it's not in history. You know, all I know is that there's the Balkan Wars, and the whatnots and the what who's. That's all irrelevant to me.
You see, because we are being educated wrong. We are being educated to work, to be employees, not to be entrepreneurs. Okay. That's my beef.
Okay, if that's us, the 9-to-5 slaves, guess what? We're gonna flip it on you. We're striking. We will not go to your jobs.
I've never worked in my life. I've never said I'm going to my job.
But go looking for a job.
Okay. But if you have no choice, I mean, you must at least go out there and try and look for something. You don't think so? I will.
If I go do chemistry or whatever and I get a degree done, I don't think I'll go work. I'll get a couple of stuff, start up my own lab, in my own room, come up with something to cure for common cold, cancer, AIDS. Yeah, you name it. I'll chill there and just do my own shit, dog, on the side. You know, I won't just chill and say, no one is trying to offer me a job, no one is trying, you know.
Wake up in the morning and go say, pass this, pass that. At the end of the day, I'm making hundreds of millions for his company. Screw that, you see, because I can make better money while in Selokshine.
You've got other enterprises going on, like there's the music, there's the Drogfall, and then now there are these caps that we're rocking.
Designing.
What's this about?
The clothing is basically a statement.
Yeah.
From the emblem that's right here.
Right here.
It's a rebellious statement, you know. If you can look closely into it, the karma with a you know, you understand,
no
like,
entry sign.
No entry sign. But it's not no entry sign exactly. You see the red lines up behind the code.
Okay.
So the youth says asifuna karma. Fuck you. You understand? That's what they say. Asifuna karma, sinamadreds. Why should you say karma? You understand? A certain portion of the youth says that.
Do your own shit. Don't try to go depend on someone else to give you a job.
We have this problem of reliance. We rely too much. We believe that companies should save us. We believe that government should save us. We forget about saving ourselves.
Umhlaba uvuka uhlanya vuka uzenzela usebenze and stay true to your fears gezwa abahlukumeza ubebe phila ku science project abayibiza ukuthi ghetto the rich are getting richer natives face freedom basibulalisa ngotshwala we need to let go seek for wisdom nemfundo and fight a mental war.
Nigerians came over here and they started up businesses. They didn't go ask his nobody, and the money that they get in they spend amongst the Nigerians. You know what I mean? They buy Nigerian food, they buy Nigerian clothes, they support Nigerian church, and they support their own movies and their own music, and they don't listen to anything else. You know what I mean? It doesn't. We don't all have to be like that, but we can build an African unified sort of society that is not dependent or reliant on outside influence from Europe in order to show us what is dope.
That's how the Jewish people are doing it. That's how the Muslims are doing it.
I will tell you, you are following the West, the Western pattern of lifestyle. You are forgetting your culture. And Africa has a great culture. Africa has a great history. You know? And go back to that. Study that. Teach your children that. And make them proud of what they are.
And until we realize our own value, nothing will ever go right.
In terms of when as Zulu boy, you know, Utupuma, Ekwazulu, listening to your CD and looking at you and listening to you and hanging out with you for a bit, you know, knowing your culture and how much you treasure your culture, you know, and what it's about, you know, how important you think that is in terms of the person that you are today. How has it built you in any way, you know?
it's identity for me and really trying to motivate people, you know, because I find ingane ikhule endlini enjena yabo nendawo enje ama suburbs, you know, they understand ukuthi right, okay, I didn't have a choice that I was born in a rich family, but they don't try and find their identity, you see what I'm saying, as individuals by going back and looking where their forefathers come from before all this wealth and riches, you see what I'm saying. So I'm trying to encourage them to go back. Somebody has to direct them to think that.
This is a joint, I think. I know. Yo, see my mom told me, son, just keep your head up. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Man, I'm trying to take this life and make it cheddar. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. See, I might trip, fall, but then I get up. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Shit, check it, yo, I'm from where you find churches on top of liquor stores, where your 8-day breakfast ain't that important. You can play loud music, the neighbors won't mind. Where payday only comes once in a while. 5 niggas, 1 apartment, easy rent. Where you gotta do what you gotta do for the present. Street dreaming, thinking one day I'm leaving, but the more I want out, the more it pulls me in. Let me paint a perfect picture, see what I see. Dead man walking 8 day on the streets. Last night I heard gunshots of my little sister. Don't worry, baby, it's gonna be okay. Kiss her. Rest in peace to Anthony Dunn. I heard DT got shot for his car trying to run. It's hard for cats to forget all that. You can move out the hood, but the hood'll move back. Son, just keep your head up. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. So I'm trying to taste this life and make it cheddar. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. I might trip, fall, but then I get up. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
The system is built for the poor people to be poor. That's why it takes money to make money. That's why it takes knowledge to have knowledge and gain knowledge. That's why it takes for you to have something before you can get something. That's why the have-nots will always have not. Even if the government is filled with the most compassionate, most caring, you know, most mentally intelligent people or whatever, there will still, for as long as the capitalist system is in place and it bases itself on private property and ownership of stuff, there will always be a need for a have-not.
For me, this idea of capitalism as the answer is scary for me. That's the thing. That's a little scary for me.
We need to have a revamp based on love, not based on economics and imperialism and feudalist concepts that were supposed to have been phased out a long time ago.
That's why I support no democracy and homosexuality.
We're living in this world of feeding our liabilities, you know, credit cards, bank debt, you know, rent, parties.
Weekends doming about of us okay beventure utshwala expensive ocheke obani yabo siyaphuza sithatha abantwana siyabathengela what you know what I'm saying, but edladleni abekho grand. You see what I'm saying? That's the society that we are. You see what I'm saying? We do things so we can talk. Ngitshele no siseyizolo bengidla amabhodlela awu4 awu4, you know what I'm saying?
It's us here, the people with the most resources on the planet. Natural resources are the most dependent on retail and buying. We're a consumer continent. We consume, and they produce and produce with our own resources.
In relation to what you were just saying, getting shot, whatever, there gotta be a solution, and I feel MCs will be able to give us that solution because they're directly in touch with the youth. You know what I mean?
That solution is understanding and awareness. You see, awareness of yourself. You see what consciousness is. You have to be politically aware, spiritually. You know, even your history. You know what I'm saying? Economically.
You need to be informed about your language. You need to be informed about, like, you can't just be an African now. You must be an informed African.
You know?
We have to free ourselves. In the Bible, they call it the 12 jewels of opulence. You know, we need to achieve those 12 jewels of opulence before we can even go to a next step. You know what I'm saying? We still fighting poverty. That's part of those 12 jewels of opulence. You know what I'm saying?
Because the shit is going down, man. If we're not dying, you know, we're living in very, very hard times. Artists just can't. Party time. We can't afford party time. We're dying, man. We're fucking dying. There's no time for party time.
I think us as Africans have to really start finding our own identity and interacting, especially South Africans, young South Africans, interacting with other Africans and learning really what this Uhuru thing is about, because we don't know it. We don't know it, and we're going to make the same mistakes that have been made there.
Because our lives are not only about ourselves. We're a cycle. You are just part of a... You see these bricks? If you take one, you're going to be fucked up. Yeah. So all of us, we're just a part of the building, and we all have to do our job.
We need to be organized. Selassie said this, King Haile Selassie, organize and centralize. You know what I'm saying? It even applies for hip-hop, for the youth, for anybody. We cannot take steps if we're not together and centralized with one vision and one goal. We want to achieve that. Okay. You know?
I think if all our actions are based on love and driven by love, true love, then we can get rid of this system. We can understand our role in the universe and live it to the fullest, man. We can, find our true potential as humans, as individuals, as a people, as instances of God, and live like we're meant to live, experience like we're meant to experience, you know? But for as long as we're driven by other motivational factors like money, a better life, health, prosperity, financial emancipation, things like that, we'll never know love. And because God is love, we'll never know God. And we'll never know ourselves, essentially.